What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So for this video, we're going to be in the F30 because we're going to be taking it to the dyno for a second time now. So to provide a little bit of context here, I took the car to the dyno a couple months ago when it was just on the Stage 2 91 map from Bootmod with the high flow catted downpipe. And it put out around 353 wheel horsepower and 373 wheel torque. But since then, I've made some changes. I am now currently running E85 with the Stage 2 E30 map from Bootmod, so a 30% ethanol mixture. In addition, I've also changed the spark plugs to one-step colder NGK spark plugs. When I first did the initial dyno with just the Stage 91 map, my dyno graph didn't really look that clean. There was quite a few dips, possibly suggesting that the power was kind of being held back. I think it was because there were some timing issues because of the 91 gas I was using, because here in California the 91 gas isn't that good, so I feel like the engine was just having a bunch of timing corrections, because when I went to go to data log, it did seem like the timing was not very good. So that's why I changed the spark plugs, and then now I'm running E85. And I've done data logs with that map now, and the timing is near perfect. There's no timing corrections or anything from what I can see. So now we're going to take the car to the dyno for a second time and see the kind of power the car is putting out running E85 with the Bootmod Stage 2 E30 map with the high flow catted downpipe. In addition, I also have an upgraded intercooler, a bigger intercooler to allow more airflow. I also have an upgraded charge pipe and an intake. And those are all the performance mods I have in the car at the moment. So we're going to see how much power the car is putting out with those performance mods. The bulk of the difference, or the power, would come from the Stage 2 E30 map from Bootmod. Now, based on what I saw online when I was researching, the car should be at around 400 wheel horsepower, maybe 390. I want to say around, just give or take like 10, around 400 wheel horsepower. I hope it reaches 400 wheel horsepower, because that would be nice to say I reached 400 wheel horsepower. But we'll see. It may be a little bit less, but it definitely should be higher than what it was when I took it to dyno the first time, because I definitely felt a significant jump in power once I switched to running 85 and the Stage 2 E30 map. So yeah, I'm super excited to see how much power this car has been. A lot of fun since I've been running 85. It's a lot quicker. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the gas station to fill up real quick, and then I'll go ahead and head to the dyno. Alright you guys, I'm back here in my garage. So let's chat about these numbers. So as you guys saw, the car had a max horsepower output of 404 wheel horsepower along with 488 wheel torque. Now, I am 100% impressed, satisfied with these numbers. They kind of exceeded my expectations. So as you guys saw, I did 3 runs. 404 wheel horsepower was the max horsepower out of the 3 runs, along with the torque. The first run was 392 wheel horsepower. The second one was the 404 wheel horsepower, and the third run was 397 wheel horsepower. And then for the torque, it was 466 wheel torque on the first run, 488 on the second run, and then 477 on the third run. So I think we can say the car is at around 400 wheel horsepower, which is what my goal was. So I am definitely happy, definitely satisfied with these numbers. I'm kind of surprised at how high the torque numbers are. I thought the torque would be more around 430, 440. But somehow it managed to put out 400, almost 490 wheel torque. That is very impressive. That is a lot compared to the first time. Now let's actually compare the numbers I got the first time I went to Dyno, when I was on the Stage 2 91 map with the high flow kind of downpipe with the same mods: upgrade intercooler, intake, charge pipe. I put out at a max horsepower of 353 wheel horsepower, along with a max torque output of 373 wheel torque. So according to these numbers that I got today, I gained about 50 wheel horsepower and over 100 or around 100 wheel torque just from running E85, running the Stage 2 E30 map from boot mode. That is literally the only thing I changed performance-wise. I did upgrade the spark plugs to 1-step colder spark plugs. That's the only other difference. I also forgot I'm running the XHP flash tool, which eliminates some of the torque limiters. I did do the dyno session, the pull in 6th gear, since that is the 1-to-1 ratio gear, whatever it's called. That's the gear usually you want to do a dyno in if you have an 8-speed automatic like I do. And it put out those numbers. So I am absolutely impressed. Again, a gain of 50 wheel horsepower and 100 wheel torque compared to the first time I took it to the dyno. It was a little bit colder this time. It wasn't as hot since I did during the summer the first time. So that may also had an effect. But yeah. And also, since the E85 helped the timing corrections, since the first time it was very inconsistent across the graph. But this time, I don't know if you guys noticed the graph, I have the paper here, you guys can see. The curve on the graph is near perfect. Like, it is a lot better compared to the other graph of when I took it to the dyno, when I had the Stage 2 91 map. There was dips all over the place, but comparing it to this one looks a lot better. So the 85 definitely fixed those timing corrections, and now I am seeing the full power potential of the engine. I feel like it may have been higher if I didn't have all those timing issues I was having with the first graph and all the inconsistencies. It may have been higher, but as you can see, it made a huge difference. So yeah, guys, I am definitely impressed. I hope you guys are just as impressed as I am. And yeah, these are the numbers that it should be putting out, like I mentioned, based off my research, around 400 wheel horsepower. Like I said, the torque was a little bit higher than I thought it would be. Hopefully these dyno numbers are accurate, because I am 100% happy. I am hyped. I'm very excited that I was able to get this much power out of this car so far. Now again, I know these numbers still aren't that high compared to other cars, compared to other BMWs. Like if I had the B58 with these same mods, I'd probably be at like 450, maybe even 500 wheel horsepower. If the N55, I'd probably be at 450 wheel horsepower with the same exact mods. But for me, this is a lot of power for me. I haven't driven anything faster than this. So yeah. Like I said, like I mentioned before, I'm not trying to have the most amount of horsepower. I'm not trying to have the fastest car. I'm just trying to create a fast car, faster than the average car on the road, to my liking. For me, I feel like if you have a lot of horsepower, it just kind of is like hard to drive, because this is my daily. I pretty much daily this car. I take it to work and everything. I take it everywhere, you know, I go, really, except when I switch cars, obviously. So I don't need a lot of horsepower. Like, I need this thing to be comfortable also at the same time. So as of right now, this car is an excellent modded daily. It has plenty of horsepower while also still maintaining reliability and comfortability of daily driving. So this car is like perfect if that's what you're looking for. You know, if you're like me and not trying to get 500, 600 wheel horsepower, just a lot of horsepower. If you're not trying to do that, you're trying to get a little bit more than stock, obviously. This car is there. It's perfect, I'd say, if that's what you're looking for. So again, I originally, when I did the other dyno, or I did the other video where I did the dyno with the Stage 291, I mentioned that I wouldn't do any more performance mods. I ended up switching to E85 as an additional performance mod, which isn't really like a significant thing since I didn't need to install anything. I just needed to switch the map to an E30 map and then put in E85. That's all I did. This is officially this is all I'm gonna do. Right now, as of right now, this is all I'm gonna do for performance. I've reached the level I want the car to be at in terms of power. The only other thing after this that I could do would be to upgrade the turbos, upgrade the fuel pump, the high pressure fuel pump, so it can take more E85 if I wanted to do that. Those are pretty much the only major next upgrades I could do to get more power out of the car, to get to 450, 500 wheel horsepower if I wanted to. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I still want to maintain reliability of this car. I don't want to go that far yet. So as of right now, you know, I may switch my mind like I did in my last video. I may switch it if I find something else. But as of right now, this is where I'm stopping for performance mods for the car. So yeah, I just want to make that clear. Let's see what else here. So to make it clear, all of the performance mods, I'm going to list them for you guys so you guys can clearly know and understand what I have on the car and how I was able to achieve these power numbers. So again, I have a high flow catted downpipe, an upgraded intercooler that's bigger than the stock intercooler, an upgraded charge pipe. I also have an intake. And then I have the car tuned with boot mode on Stage 2 E30, the OTS map from Bootmod. So it isn't a custom tune. It's just right off the shelf. You can get it immediately when you get your license to use boot mode. Those are all the mods, performance mods I have on the car. And with those mods, I was able to achieve 400 wheel horsepower and around 470, 480 wheel torque. So yeah, guys, I'm pretty hyped. Definitely put me in a good mood, lived up to my expectations. I'm glad I was able to reach around 400 wheel horsepower on this car. So if that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to get 400 wheel horsepower, that's how you do that with the mods I have on the car right now. And at the same time, it has been an excellent daily because I've been running the E85, the Stage 2 E30 map for about a month and a half now, and the car still drives excellent. Haven't had any issues at all. This car is just awesome right now. Very reliable, very fast, for me at least. And it is definitely faster than the average car on the road. You can definitely have some fun with this car with the power that it's pushing out right now. There was a lot of other BMWs at this dyno session. There was an M4, there was a couple 335 ISs there. There's also a single turbo 135i that put out like 600 wheel horsepower. There was also out of the 335i ISs, there was one that put out like 564 wheel horsepower. The M4 put out about 480 wheel horsepower with the mods it had. So I mean, those cars made my car look not that fast, but it's fast. It's fast. Like, if you're just like not racing anybody and you just kind of drive, casually and then drive fast like every so often on the roads, it's fast. You could definitely have fun with this car. But again, this isn't a significant amount of power compared to other cars in the car community. I just want to make that clear. There's always, from what I've noticed, there's always going to be a car that's faster than you, so I don't even really try to be the fastest, because there's always going to be someone faster. There's always going to be people who say, oh, well, this car has this amount of horsepower compared to yours is slow compared to that one. There's always going to be those people. But I don't really care, honestly. Like I said, I'm not trying to have the fastest car. I am just absolutely satisfied with how this car is coming right now. So coming soon here, I'm still working on the website for my store that I'm starting. For those of you who may not have been aware of that, I am starting my own online store selling parts for F30 3 Series and E93 Series, and hopefully other models. So yeah, I'm still working on that. So I may be kind of slacking on videos here because I'm trying to put some of my time towards that. So majority of the coming videos for the F30 will mainly be like informative videos, or where I install some new exterior mods, because I do have some exterior mods that I still want to install on the car. So I got those coming. If you want to follow the rest of the build with the F30 here. I also have some E90 content for those of you who watched that, and also my F30 videos. So yeah, guys, that about does it for this video. If you have any questions, as always, comment them down below if I missed anything. If you want to know something else or anything, literally just comment it down below. I'm always checking on comments and replying to as many as I can to answer your guys' questions. So feel free to comment down any other questions or anything down below the video. So that is going to do it for this video, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more videos if you are new here like this. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.